Today's episode of the Good Dude, Good Dad podcast is brought to you by BioPro, Hidden House Coffee, and Next Gen Peptides. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Good Dude podcast, formerly known or in the transition from the Good Dude, Good Dad podcast. Same people, same questions, same conversations.
New lights.
Different name, new lights. Oh, I wish you guys could see. We just bought a brand new light, and it's gangster. It's giving off very like
cool.
70 vibes.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll have to toy with it a little bit, but
Oh,
I
for
kind of
sure.
like it.
Yeah, well, we probably should bring in one of the light specialist people that have offered to come and help us.
Yeah, but they're gonna make it all like bright and starky.
Nah, dude.
I don't just want to.
Tell me we want like 70s.
What if we come in one day and we're like, oh, let's have the light be purple?
We could.
Yeah, light
Do
guy's
like
not
the
gonna tell us to do that.
Danny Go glow in the dark dance party episode.
We should.
Bum, ba-da-da, ba-bum. If you don't have that, it's because you weren't a good dude, good dad. You're just a good dude.
It's a little yellow, but not crazy.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it, dude. I think it's vibey.
It is very much so.
It's vibey. And with the black wall behind you, it works, my guy.
I know,
And these like snake plants we have going on.
dude. I know.
I'm
we
liking
don't.
for more.
We don't have a guest today
We do not.
because
Yeah, why don't we have a guest today?
I forgot I was going hunting.
Oh,
And so this is like a last minute, and your schedule's all over the place now. So
Ben runs our men's ministry, and he decided to go hunting instead of, book a podcast, come serve Jesus. No, just kidding.
yeah, I did do that.
I'm
Definitely
just
didn't even
kidding.
realize it was all the same weekend.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's what happens.
had no clue it was all the same weekend. And then
Well-
I was like,
Honestly, you're not doing enough stuff, so
I know.
I mean, I'm surprised you forgot, to be honest.
bro, you gotta embrace the suck, dog.
You just embrace the suck, dude. I'm doubling.
You
I never double.
You are doubled today.
Well, because you said you wanted to do a video for
Still
Embrace
gonna
today.
do it real after
Oh,
this.
Well, then that's why
Probably do it from my phone.
that's why I embraced to do that.
Yeah, maybe I should do it from my phone.
Then we could do it from wherever.
Or should I?
Yeah,
Anyways.
we could tilt it up and make this look fancy.
We've had a lot of changes.
A lot of changes.
My wife and I had a miscarriage.
Oof.
I'm just going there.
I know. Do you want to talk about it on this episode, or are we going to do that? Do you want to do a separate episode for that?
No. I want you to be able to talk about like your life transition and what you got going on.
Why? We always talk about me.
Well, yeah, because you're you.
Because you
You
don't
need
like
it.
You don't like to. I don't need it. I crave attention.
No, we've had a lot of life changes. Yeah, my wife and I had that happen. We actually found out we were pregnant the day I was supposed to go on the first hunting trip. And then I freaking woke up with crazy fever and could not speak, literally, no voice. That's never happened to
Well,
me.
not only that, for like our listeners, you guys knew there was a chance that you were having a miscarriage when we actually had Josh here
Yeah,
and we were doing his podcast.
yeah.
Because I went back and listened to it, and there's a lot of little things that we were talking about that, like, if you knew this story, which you now do, you go back and listen, and you go, oh, that's why Ben said it like that, or that's why
Yeah.
Josh said it like that, or that's why Jordan looked at him like that.
Or I was
you know?
trying not to say anything
Right.
about any of that.
Right. Dude.
Well, dude, I don't think we talked about it after. I don't fully remember.
He shared it on his story.
Yeah, but he didn't mean to. I don't think it just like his miscarriage and what they went through. It kind of just like came out in our conversation.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean,
Obviously, it wasn't planned.
yeah. I remember him saying that he had gotten approval from his wife to talk about it.
Yeah,
And I don't know if he got approval because we had that conversation before we did the podcast
Yeah.
at the church event, or but it definitely, you could tell he wasn't planning on talking about it
No.
beforehand.
well, and I think it was weird because it was making me be like, wait, what? Like, never. I've obviously never dealt with that. Neither
Yeah.
has Devin. We've been very fortunate in that, and I think there's not that we didn't understand the severity of that because
Right.
obviously who the heck wants to go through that? But I think when you do go through it, you're like, oh, okay, this is like, it's kind of weird. And I was telling Devin, I think the hardest part for me was like we don't need to go on the backstory, but for me at least as a dad, like we're not carrying a baby, right? I don't have these like changes I don't feel any different.
Right.
Like when they tell you you're pregnant, you're just like, oh shoot, cool,
Sweet. Yeah.
like I'm gonna be dad.
Yeah.
×4, like
Yeah.
cool, but like nothing really changes.
Yeah.
you know. And then for me, every single kid that we had, it got more real or real, like real for me when I got to hear the heartbeat.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
for me, it was always like that was like the first connection that I feel like I had with my kid.
Yeah.
And so like after Joshua's episode and then you took care of him on Sunday, like we had the emergency ultrasound tech come by and we had like the heartbeat, right? And you know, Devin and I were obviously already ready for it. We had set the kids up because she came to our house, so we set the kids up in the other room so we didn't want them to be a part of that,
Right.
and set them up in the other room. They were good. And we're expecting her just to tell us what, you know, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
like I can't find a heartbeat,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then for her to just be like, oh, baby's heartbeat's great. And you're like, wait, what? You know, like, what are you talking about? And then she does all the measurements. She's like, dude, you guys are, whatever, 8 weeks or so along.
Yeah.
Everything's great. Everything's measuring the way it's supposed to be. Baby looks healthy. Heartbeat strong. Do you want to hear it? And then, you know, for me, I'm like, oh, and then all the kids, like, you know, they wanted to hear. And so the kids come in and everyone's getting to hear like the baby's heartbeat for the first time.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's always like when it was the most real.
Yeah.
And then obviously when you see your wife like growing, you're like,
Right.
oh, that's my child in there,
Yeah.
you know? But I feel like for me, every ultrasound was when it was like real.
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't,
Right. No, I understand.
but you're not, dude, we're not the ones carrying
You explained that perfectly.
Yeah.
We're not the ones carrying, and we can't feel like those changes. Yeah, we have nothing to measure it off of.
And it's weird.
Right.
And so after like having that, dude, and like texting all of you guys, it was also really dope to see how many, not that I didn't think people wouldn't obviously check on us, you know,
Yeah.
but the amount of people checking in was really cool. Even friends of ours and family of ours that have gone through numerous miscarriages, you know, and like just checking in on Dev. And cause you know, like when she had 3 pretty solid,
Yeah.
easy pregnancies.
Yeah.
And so she's very like, and she understands how lucky she is in that.
Yeah.
And so going through this one was just kind of weird. And I didn't think we were going to talk about this today, but we're going. So that was Sunday. Wednesday happens. I'm at work and she texts me again and she's kind of just like, I know like what they said, but I know my body, like just something doesn't feel right. You know, and Devin was really sick during that time. I don't know, she got whatever the heck bug was going around with crazy fever and all of that. And so the midwife was like, you know, trying to tell Dev, don't worry, there's like other things. It could be XYZ. There's, you know, don't stress. So Thursday, she got like the stomach pains and then, you know, the bleeding and all that stuff. And so by Thursday afternoon, the midwife was like, all right, I'm going to send the ultrasound tech back. And so Friday morning, that happens. I'm at work because it was just kind of like a precautionary thing. Who did we interview that day?
I don't know. We did have a podcast.
Brad?
though. I think it might have been Brad.
And then, you know, so same thing. Ultrasound tech comes to the house. They're doing the thing. Cash wanted to make sure that she was with Devin, so she had somebody. And now looking back at that, like I really hate that we did that. Not hate, but just a weird
You
thing.
would have done it differently.
Yeah. Ultrasound tech comes in, does her thing. Dev's expecting her. They're looking for a hematoma. Is what, you know, the thing that could have been causing these things.
Right.
And obviously no hematoma. We find out there's no baby anymore, no heartbeat. And, you know, my 7-year-old daughter just in that room, not fully comprehending, you know, but also still fully comprehending. And Devin calls me, obviously just hysterical. And it hit her obviously a lot harder and faster than me. She's by herself. And I felt really guilty for not being there, obviously. But, you know, she's like telling me about it. And then she's like, I know you got to go. And so then we come here, we do our pod. And then I think the craziest part, dude, is like, and this is a question that I think is so powerful because everybody asks this, Christians, non-Christians, young, old. But my daughter, through that process, basically was like, Dad, if our God is so good, and so whatever, I forget what she said, but basically, if our God is so good, why would he take our baby away? You know? And when you think about that, like as a 7-year-old, like that's a big question, you know, and that's a powerful question. And Devin and I both took that time just to let her know we don't know. We don't know that answer, you know, and she still brings it up.
Yeah.
And she still questions and asks and deflects a lot. But that moment was one of those where we kind of just told her, you know, like I told her personally, I was tucking her in for bed one night, and she's just having a really hard time with it.
Yeah.
Because she was so excited, dude. She was like, we did a mini like clean out, you know, because it was right after Christmas, and did that mini donation pile and stuff like that, and Cash kept certain things because she wanted to give it to the baby. And so she just was feeling a lot of things. The boys were kind of just like, oh, it's sad, baby dead.
They're also
like,
young.
Yeah, you know. But Cash, she just like felt it, and she started acting out in different ways, and just kind of crazy to see. But I'm rambling. But I used that bedtime, and I'll never forget her asking, and you can just hear like the sadness and the almost just like the loss for words, right? Or the loss for being able to understand or to figure out or to just be like, what the F? And I just remember telling her, I said, you know, sweetheart, that's a fantastic question. I said, as your dad, I ask those same questions sometimes. And I said, I think it's perfectly okay to ask and to wonder why a God that is so good and so mighty and is so loving and compassionate does let these things happen. I don't think he allows them. I mean, it's kind of one and the same.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know, but it's not like he made that happen. And so, you know, what I told her is, I don't know that answer. And this might not be easy for you to understand, but in this house and what your mom and I believe is that it doesn't matter what happened. We understand like that sometimes God's plan is different than our own. And we might hate it. We might not like it. We might be angry. We might be mad at him. We might be mad at each other. But we fully believe that there is a plan. And it's not always the way we think it's going to be. And it was kind of cool because you could kind of see her wrestling with it, you know? And she was just like, you know, like, yeah. And I said, you know, I don't know this. I don't know if this is appropriate to say, but I was like, maybe baby had some issues that wouldn't have been solved, or maybe the baby's heart wasn't ready, or maybe it could have hurt mama on accident, or we don't know these things. And I'm not justifying and making one right or the other, but I told her, I was like, all we know is maybe that baby was meant to be in heaven, and whatever that looks like, we don't know, you know?
Yeah.
And so, dude, it was a trip, bro, like having to have that conversation with my daughter, who's like asking, because I don't know the answer. Like, I have no clue, you know? And like I said, still to this day, she's like bringing it up. And it was a wild time. And I think for us, like the craziest thing, if you listen to this, like, you might always think like people have it all put together and figured out, right? Dude, as a husband, I didn't know what to do. No words, no. It was I was in a weird spot, you know, because I was just like, I'm here. And then as a dad, I was like, yeah, ask, be angry, but it's not okay for you to disrespect your mom or me or anyone else. But you can be angry. You know, whatever that looks like for you, be angry. Go ahead. Like, ask those questions. Feel that emotion. But the crazy part, dude, and you and I have talked about it, but like Devin and I have talked about it a lot, is just like this, we're not trying to discredit anyone's story.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah. But our story in going through it was just so rough. Right? Like, even getting to the point of us having that fourth kid, which was a very big deal to us, to the high that it gave Devin, the it gave me / all right, we got to figure this out, you know? don't got a car. We don't have yada, yada. You know, I go into kind of like figure it out mode.
Yeah.
To all of a sudden, like I'm up trapped in our bedroom because she had the girls' night, and I'm like sitting up there, dude. I'm sick. I was supposed to be hunting. I'm trapped in our room. Can't even go anywhere. Like I'm a teenage kid, freaking, you know, on ground, like being grounded. And then I like was up there in my room feeling awful, and then every like 3 minutes for about 30 minutes, screams. I don't know if I told you. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the screams and the cheers, and I was just like, all right, dude, like that is making her so happy in that moment. Like that was so cool. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like we get like, that's like, how cool is that she has that?
Yeah.
And then, you know, so getting to that point to then all of a sudden, like thinking you're having a miscarriage to, no, you're good. Baby's healthy. Everything's good. To, okay, I'm not feeling good, but they're telling me not to worry. Then to all of a sudden, like no baby at all, which is best case scenario, I guess, for her body, obviously.
Right.
But dude, it was just like such a whirlwind of a process, and still is, because we recently had that talk, and then it got brought up again more recently. And so now it's kind of, we're just in this season of I think she's having to come to the understanding that we're done having kids. And it's a weird place to be in, because I don't want to be insensitive to people that want children, you know. But our family, as I've felt for a while, is quote unquote complete.
Yeah.
So it's just been a weird, wild time.
Yeah, dude.
It was weird. It's just weird.
Well, I mean, life doesn't come with an owner's manual, you know? Like, think of all those different situations you had to navigate from, you know, we documented a lot of it on this podcast, and I don't even think on purpose, of the pre and then finding out. And then we documented a lot of it, not even on purpose, of leading up to it. And then, you know, now this chapter, you know, I wouldn't say it's even a closing chapter. It's just kind of like a continuation in that story.
Yeah.
But, dude, thanks for sharing that, first of all.
Yeah.
Because that's like not an easy thing to share.
No, and I think it's just, I think we're just in this season too of just not, like I don't have those answers.
Yeah.
I do know, like, I obviously want to be there for my wife and for my kids, but it's a weird spot to be in when you don't want that thing that's potentially causing your significant other to feel left out. I don't know, that's not weird to put it, but yeah. So life's been weird.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And our listeners don't know, like, Caitlin and I have had multiple miscarriages.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't compare. Sorry, someone just walked by. I was like whistling weird. You can't compare, like, they're just so different. You know, like all of our miscarriages we had in between having other kids, knowing that we wanted to get there. Like our very first one, I don't know if I'll ever share it, but is a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just, that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, dude, and having a daughter that's old enough to realize what was going on is that, I mean, like, I can't even imagine it. Like, that's one thing that you and Josh got to talk about, which I was like kind of cool to hear, and talked about how, like, him and his wife had handled it with their kids, and addressing it. And I think letting your kids know sometimes that we just don't have all the answers is such a solid thing. Like, this isn't even remotely comparable, but Hudson and I, you know, I always tell Hudson, like, hey, we can do hard things. Like, Aidens don't give up. Like, that's a few of the mottos that we have, you know, like, hey, sometimes you just gotta keep persevering.
Yeah.
And, you know, a few weeks ago this is totally so different. Now I feel like an idiot for even bringing it up.
Gotta go now.
But when I went back to drumming for the church, and I was like, hadn't drummed in forever. I was feeling very nervous about it. We got there, that first warm up, I was just garbage. Like, I was texting you. I was like, bro, I'm leaving the church. I'm changing my name. You're never going to see me again. It's great having you guys as friends. We're moving. But like, that night, to grab Hudson and just be like, hey, you know, like, when I told you that, like, Aidens don't give up, and just because we're scared. Like, bravery isn't about being scared. It isn't about not being scared. It's about being scared and doing it anyway. You know, that's the true definition of bravery. I was like, today, dad was genuinely like kind of scared, like in a silly way. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I was nervous. Like, I didn't want to look dumb and I didn't want to let people down. And I was like, I was genuinely scared and I didn't want to do it. Daddy wanted to leave. He goes, oh, really? Well, what'd you do? Because he wasn't in, service. I was like, I did it anyway. And guess what? I feel so much better. And guess what? I'm scared to do it again. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it again. He goes, oh, because God makes you brave. I was like, exactly, because God makes you brave.
Yeah.
And being able to live out your walk in a very real way for your kids, I know holds so much value, because he's even brought up that little mini conversation that we've had multiple times where he's like, Dad, I'm brave, but I'm going to be, I'm scared, but I'm going to be like you. I'm going to be brave and keep doing it anyway. And it's like one of those moments. And so I'm trying to find those little things in life that, like, for us feel like a challenge. And I'm trying to invite my kids in a healthy way into them more. Yeah. So that, like, they know that, this is something Dad also deals with. This is something that's just a part of life. Man, why are you staring into my car?
We got a lot of weird stuff happening in this outside the studio today. As we're talking about deep stuff.
We're right by a high school, and we never podcast this late.
That's true.
But
I like inviting your kids into it though, dude, because it's I think that's changing more and more. Sometimes too much, but I think as a parent, especially as like the dad, like letting your kids see that you aren't this like end all be all the time. Yeah. I think obviously it is our job and our duty
100%
to show that we figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be this the we've made fun of it in the past, or the 90s sitcom dad, the Al Bundy.
Oh yeah.
Like the laughing stock of everyone.
Right.
It's no, dude, like, I might not have all these answers, but I sure as heck am going to try to figure it out. And it's okay if I don't know that answer, because we're going to figure out how to get to that answer. Or if it's the opposite, like with the Cash asking, why does God, if God is so good, why would he take our baby? I don't know that, sweetheart. But what I do know is that he has a plan for us. Yeah. And I feel like that shows your kid strength in a different way too, because we're walking through our faith in a way that we don't know. And I even told Cash in a different conversation, but in the same topic of, like, sometimes that's what our faith is. Our faith is knowing and believing that God has this plan and design for our lives. But what matters is that we walk through it, and we can't see it. You can't even feel it sometimes. But if you believe it and you understand it, that's what faith is, And being able to, like, walk with her and talk with her through that, and even with my wife, dude, like, Dev, the day she told me, she wrote God, she's like, sometime, I want to read it so I don't butcher it, but I can't. I don't have any of my old photos on here. They haven't downloaded.
Fancy new phone, boy.
Dude.
Did you get the one that Jordan got? The fancy one? Yeah. Nice.
But she wrote basically like a sticky note with the pregnancy test that said, God's plan is always greater than our own, in a form. And even after she found out she had the miscarriage, she had said something very similar. And that was so hard for her, because she wanted that so much, And I told her, it made me so proud of her to be able to be, like, in her faith and be like, hey, I wanted this so bad, and yeah, I'm angry, but God's plan is always greater than our own, and we don't know what that is. And the fact that Cash can obviously read and saw that, and it's still in our fridge, I feel like it's just, as a parent and as a dad and as a man of God, I feel like it has been such a cool, I don't want to say teaching moment, but such a cool life moment that I get to live out with my wife and my oldest child, because the boys, they don't get it. Cash does. And so it's been like this cool thing. And, she still sees me reading my Bible in the mornings, and she's made little comments like, and she'll tell Devin more so than me. Usually when I'm at jujitsu, about how she wants another baby so bad, and she doesn't understand why like dad just won't do it. And it's been cool because it shows that there's not always a rhyme or reason or an answer. And she's getting to see Devin and I like obviously not agree on something so big, but she's never once had to even wonder or question like, oh, they're not getting along because of this. Like it's never been that.
Yeah.
It's always been well, I want this thing, you want that thing. How do we get there?
Yeah.
And so we did get there.
Yeah.
And I told Dev when she brought it up, I was like, dude, I don't know what the purpose of all of that is. Maybe the purpose was me being able to show you like I genuinely would do anything for you. But I don't know the rest of that. I don't. But I do know like what it did for me, and being able to like put my, I don't want to say wants, but my thoughts and my views for my life and for our family's life aside for my wife and put her need above my own. Dude, that was hard. So hard. And so maybe that was, I don't know. Maybe that was the lesson for me, not for her, for me. Maybe for her too. I don't know.
Maybe that's just the takeaway for now too. I mean, there's so many times in life where like you're trying to pull the good out of something and you're finding, like I noticed that both of you have really tried to find the good in that.
Yeah.
Like the good in everything. And like it's so inspiring as a couple on the outside looking in and like watching you guys or, getting to navigate it by third party, when we see each other and chatting about it and just watching your guys' faith and like continue to grow and be faithful to one another. And I'll say this because like my parents have been married 40, I think they just celebrated their 46th wedding anniversary.
Dang.
And dude, gangsters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that, I saw them disagree quite a bit about stuff, like big things. And the coolest part was to see two people that disagreed that still loved each other, and despite a disagreement, still function as one family unit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know that you and I have had talks about that in the past of like, seeing your kids seeing you quote unquote fight or whatever, like we both have different views. And I actually think our view is pretty much a lot closer than we think it is. But like to be able to see two parents who disagree and then at the end of the night give each other a hug and a kiss and just say, I love you. Dude, taught me so much about marriage, and so many things that I see fail in young Christian marriages are like, my parents never fought, so why are we fighting?
Yeah.
This is clearly not the marriage I'm supposed to be in. And then they just abandon all, know, where it's like, no, like you're a thick-headed person and they're a thick-headed person, and you're coming together and you're taking two different personalities and styles of growing up, and you're trying to come together and function as one person, and it's like, bro, that's not easy.
No.
And you can be married 43 years and have that. You could be married 8 years or 10, 11, you guys?
9.
Where'd you guys?
We're at 9.
9? You just did, it was just the other day. Your anniversary. 9 years, and they're still growing in that,
Well, and that's, and I feel like the world could use a lot more of that in
Dude,
today's
100%.
world. Like, dude, we've said it before, but we're living in a time where like people think you can't disagree with each other and still be respectful and be friends. Like it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that we just live in a time where it's like, yo, you can believe something fully different than me.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with like who I am as a person or how I'm going to communicate with you or treat you. Like that's why we are individuals, and that's why we are different, and that's why we live in America. You can have a different viewpoint and still love somebody. Like it's silly. It's silly.
It is silly.
But that's
Well, I just want to say that it's so cool. It's I will say it's a blessing to watch you guys how you handled it. Not that you guys had to go through it, but pulling the best part of a bad situation, watching you two navigate it together as a couple,
Yeah.
has been such a blessing to be able to watch, man.
Thank you, dude. It's it's just like one of those weird things, and not in a weird. I'm saying weird a lot. What the heck? It's just a thing
Right.
that I had no idea.
Yeah.
And again, there's so many people out there that obviously have experienced this numerous times, and that's why I said I wanted to be clear and like not discrediting or taking away from anyone else's story in that, because they're all awful.
Yeah.
But ours was slightly different, and to us, like I said, the getting there, having to put things aside, the sacrifices, the having this like crazy desire and want, and you're given it, to it like being taken, to all of a sudden like, whoa, what the heck? Like, and then it put my wife in like a place she didn't want to be, which then made her feel really bad about herself. And I had to be like, dude, that's not what I want. Like, I don't want to quote unquote win. I don't want it to be my way. I don't want it to be your way. I don't want it to be any way. I want it to be the way that we get to do it together, and it was just and she still has her moments, obviously, but the way she's handled it, dude, has been,
Devin's a rock star.
She is. Yeah. And I think that's what bummed me out so much, is like when we were having that last talk of like, all right, what's the plan? Which I did not think she was going to bring up as quick as she did, which I wish she didn't, but whatever, we went in on it. So the thing that just bummed me out is like, dude, as her husband and somebody that would literally do anything for her, like I didn't want her to feel that way, because her biggest thing, and she, not that she had like, it would have gotten there, maybe it would have, maybe it wouldn't have, I don't know. She didn't want to have like this resentment towards me. And then she would like, obviously as Christians, we believe in those moments, in those dark times, that's when the enemy's going to creep in even more to freaking pull the strings, or to be like, well, why did you even marry him? Or, all those things. Like, you knew, so this is your fault. Like, you chose to marry the guy. He's been saying this for 14 years, but you didn't listen, you stupid girl. Like, all those things. And, when she was, like, telling me some of this, I was like, bro, I don't want you to feel that.
Right.
Like, that's the last thing I want,
Right.
I want to be able to take all of that from you, or for you. Like, that's the opposite of what I want. I want you to just be happy, and to be the person she is, like, and who she's called to be. So that's like, to hear that, I was like, oh, dang, I'm about to get emotional about it. But when we were talking about it, I was like, dude, that's not anything that I would want, and so it was just like a very interesting dynamic and conversation, numerous conversations that we had. Because, and then she would feel bad at how she was viewing me. And then that's, again, I was like, dude, I don't want that.
Right.
Maybe when I was younger and immature and a freaking punk, I'd be like, yeah, feel what I feel,
Yeah.
Versus now I'm like, no. Yeah. Like, I want no part of that for you. So, dude, I think it was and is going to be a faith building and growing season for Devin specifically. Obviously for me, it's a little different. And I don't want to sound insensitive in that.
No.
But for her, she's one that feels it and craves it and feels the body changing and the hormone shit. Like, dude, she's still, I don't know if it's TMI, but whatever. She's just like, her periods she just got it back, but it's so out of this world.
Yeah.
So crazy. And the hormones are fluctuating. And I mean, she said the other day, she's like, I feel like I haven't, like, when we had the first talk, she like brought it up, and I was like, in my head, I was like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that,
right.
But like, she wasn't even fully done grieving, and now you're bringing up this subject that's been such a hot spot. And for me, I only know one way, and that's just truthful. So I was like, well, all right.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to get when you ask me, because I'm not going to not going to hide it. And yeah, man, the faith journey is one that I think is a constant change and cycle and evolution of growth and adaptation and pivoting and understanding. And I think for people that think Christians got it all figured out, we don't, bro. You know, the fact that my wife would be in those dark times, and I am not dumb. And there's a couple of nights where I am a very light sleeper, and you know, but I chose in those moments to let her have that, to let her, you know, because she didn't even know I was awake, or I mean, she woke me up, but you know, to be able to be in those emotions on your own sometimes I think is needed. And so, you know, my first instinct was to get up and to like hug her and to like comfort her and to, it's going to be okay. But I feel like in that moment, what she needed was to feel that, you know, because it wasn't just about the miscarriage. It's all of it. It's the relationship. It's the God questions on the why and the how. It's the, okay, what is the lesson in this? What are we supposed to be understanding? Are we supposed to understand? Like, do we just continue to know that it is your plan? And maybe it's as simple as that. But then you have to wrap our human brains and our emotions and that internal voice of trying to get you to doubt, you know, or to cause a tension point between you and your spouse, or to stab you in your back. You know, that is all this propaganda that we're living in today's world is caused to do. And to see how Devin has been able to respond has been really cool. And again, I know she still would have a baby today. And so I feel like it's just been this growth cycle.
If you feel comfortable asking this, like for a dude that's going through maybe a miscarriage with his wife right now, like, is there any either advice that you would give him or anything that you wish you would have done differently looking back at it now?
I'm going to sound super arrogant in this answer.
No.
But I don't think it's arrogant. I think it's just the discernment that I've grown into. I don't think I would do anything different. Because I feel as if, and this is where I said I'm going to sound arrogant, but you can attest to pretty much all of this.
Yeah.
I feel as if I did everything I could have.
I would agree.
I feel like I even did more than most people would have done. And I'm not saying that to toot my horn. I'm saying that to like, it's not, I know it sounds so silly. And I'm trying to be so careful because we're very blessed and thankful for the children we have. And we understand that kids are a blessing and a gift from God. And there's people that would literally give anything to experience that. So I don't want to sound so insensitive to that. But I'm very much so a believer in the fact that God has given us 3 beautiful children. And I had felt as if our family was genuinely complete after Walker. And it doesn't mean it can't change. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like I just was so thankful that we were able to have these 3 beautiful, healthy children, right? And that was a blessing. I have really loved watching our kids grow into the new things and getting to those next stages and doing all those things, you know? And Devin loves the baby stage.
Right.
And I know she loves this stage too, but it's just different. And so going through that whole thing and getting to a point where it took me 10 months to genuinely like pray, seek, talk to people like you, and to get to a point where I'm finding like, you know what, dude, like if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. You need to give that to her. And, yeah, so I feel like I don't, I mean, I guess there is one thing I could have done better. Leading up to that, I've talked about this before. I could have given her the room to talk to me more about what it actually meant to her without the jokes, without the blah. another one, no way. Like without all that junk, like yeah, I could have been better in that. But post finding out, I was just very truthful when we found out, and she told me. I was like, all right, sweet, like
Yeah.
we're in it, but I need a little time.
Yeah.
Like I got to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
Because for us, it was a one and done. She wasn't even in her ovulation window.
Right.
So based off of quote unquote science, like it shouldn't have even been a thing. So that tells us a God thing, and hence the sticky note of God's plan is greater than our own. And when I
Sounds
saw
like you
that,
guys got a new family motto.
dude, seriously, because when I saw that, I was like, dude, what? You know?
It's not possible.
Yeah, like science, you
Yeah.
know? So no, I mean, I guess I could have also maybe, I don't know, now I'm thinking about it, like, I don't think I could have done anything differently post.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have pushed that conversation back a little, because I feel like it was too fresh,
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's only been, what, several weeks since?
Yeah. Just be like, hey,
So
babe,
it's still
is there a chance that,
Yeah, I think I could have done that better.
Yeah.
But I also was...
You were also just trying to meet the need of what she needed.
Yeah. Because for me, dude, I'm a fixer, right?
Right.
Most husbands are.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you and Joshua were just saying, dude, just go and be there. And I was like, do you know how hard that is?
It's so hard.
Just to go and sit, like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit there awkwardly and be quiet? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
And I did.
I know.
And it was hard because
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just want to like tell you it's going to be good. Like, so, I mean, if you're going through something, it doesn't even have to be a miscarriage, but just in your marriage, sometimes it's better to not fix. And sometimes it's better to sit and to listen and to, even in our walks with the Lord, I didn't understand what that meant when people used to say that up until this more recently, not, within the last couple years of like, sit and listen. I'm like, what are you sitting and listening to? It's silent, But sometimes sitting and being still is what is needed. And I feel like that in my marriage carries over. And with the miscarriage, I think that was what she needed. And in those moments, I don't know, I've never talked to her about it, but those nights that I woke up and I heard her, maybe the right thing would have been to go comfort her. I don't know that. There was one night I rolled over and I hugged her, and just gave her a kiss, and I rolled back over, so whether it's a miscarriage you're dealing with, a death,
Yeah.
I think sometimes we have to be okay with just being and just being still, but not shying away if that hard conversation does come up, so I would just encourage anyone that has gone through it to, whether, again, if it's miscarriage specific, just be there.
Yeah.
If it's something else that's heavy, there's a lot of heavy, right? Just be there. Don't always try to be Mr. Fix-It. And I'm saying that to myself too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't always have to fix something.
Yeah.
So
I'll add to that because it's something that you said earlier and that you did the entire time. 1, pray.
yeah,
And then 2, seek counsel from people that have gone through and that you can talk to about it, right? Don't just talk to anybody, but you did that in every step. I saw you pray and press into God in a word, and then 2, try to find good godly men around you to ask questions, before, during, and after.
yeah.
So,
I still am, dude, because I
well,
not even just a miscarriage. It's just like
in life.
As just a dude trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But
you weren't meant to do life alone, despite what Hollywood portrays men as.
yeah, man,
We're not meant to.
definitely not, and it doesn't make you less of a man. But yeah, next one you have to talk about your life. I was not expecting to talk about mine, so
Honestly, I didn't think we were going to talk about that either. Yeah. I purposely was going to stay away from that, and then you brought it up, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
okay."
Well, it doesn't. I just don't.
I was waiting for the time when you decided like it was the right time.
Yeah, because I don't want to be insensitive to my
I know.
wife.
Well, even if we finish this one and you go home and you go, "Nah, I don't want to post this. We won't post it."
Send it, dude.
You're gonna get me in trouble with Devin. I'm terrified of Devin. I was kidding. Thanks, dude.
Oh, thank you.
I think this episode's gonna help a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
I honestly like that, and I know we say that to like our guests.
Yeah.
But I this is something that is one of those not talked about subjects with men.
Especially as guys. Well, dude, I didn't know how many, the amount of, and I don't want to sound lame, but the amount of people that reached out to me personally was insane. And I didn't post anything.
I know.
My wife did.
I know.
And the amount of people that reached out to her was insane. And it's one of those like, people, I think it gets so brushed off. Oh, it's a miscarriage. Like, oh, it's a miscarriage. Oh, it's a miscarriage. But dude, that's like a human life. We believe that is,
right.
I mean, there's not we believe,
right.
It is a human life.
Right.
I heard a freaking heartbeat. You cannot tell me that is not a living thing. And so it's like, we know tons of people like you and like Josh and Mel. Like we know so many people that have experienced it, and we've always been obviously like understanding of it, but it hit different, And then I think for Dev, like, I think it was a blessing and a curse when she posted that video. I think it was for her to like
process a little bit.
Closure / hey, I don't want 15,000 people to ask me, so here's a video.
That was, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it opened her eyes up to just the power in sharing and not sweeping it under the rug. Because she'll still have people that reach out to her. Thank you for sharing. Like, I've gone through this several times, and I just didn't really think I had anyone to talk to because it's a common brushed under the rug thing. Like if we said the word abortion, red lights,
right.
flashing,
people
everything, right?
Yeah, and the amount of women that think that they're the problem when that kind of stuff happens.
Like, what's wrong with me? Yeah.
I remember going through that with Caitlin, and I wish I've pushed those memories so far out of my mind that it's hard to go back to like remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's so many things I wish I would have done differently, like as a husband. And I was like so proud of you of how you handled it.
Oh, bro, it wasn't easy.
No, it's not easy. But thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
anytime.
No, we were gonna do a short podcast. That wasn't short, but it was powerful. So, I don't know how to wrap this one up, guys.
Remember, be a good dude. Honestly, we could wrap it up by saying it sounds cheesy.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to not have it figured out.
Yeah.
You just got to own that.
Yeah.
Don't be a prick about it.
Right.
But own it.
Right.
And also don't do anything to not figure it out. Like, don't just 90 sitcom dad.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hand on my crotch, drink a beer.
Yeah.
Like, no, bro. Like, be okay with not knowing.
Yeah.
And then figure it out. And if figuring it out means literally sitting and being still, then sit and be still.
Yeah.
But actually freaking do something about it.
Yeah.
So,
dude. Well, hey, if you want to, if you feel like you're kind of like stuck in your life and you feel like you're kind of stuck in your progress moving forward, Ben is doing an operator reset.
oh, shoot.
So if you would like to, I'm going to put it down below. He's looking for five guys to personally.
4 technically now.
4? Oh, 4 guys to personally coach. I mean, you just heard this, man. I get to witness it all the time, what the quality and level of man you are and the value you bring to other people, not only in business, your own marriage, but to those around you. So if you guys are interested and you want to look it up, operatorreset.com.
I don't know. Actually, we'll have to put it down. It's not .com. It's a weird.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, I'm going to put it in the show notes. Guys, if nothing else, go check out the website, look through the content that he has there, and reach out to us or DM us if you have any questions, and I'll either forward them off to Ben or I'll have Ben answer for you. But as always, guys, remember, be a good dude.